How has parenting evolved since you were little?
When I was little, we used to just like jump in a car, no seatbelt, nothing. We would just like fly around in the back of the car and hang on for our dear lives as our mom was flying around the corners. I mean, it was totally fun, but probably not so safe. So, that definitely sticks out to me, where we have all these safety regulations now with car seats and safety belts.
I feel like the involvement of social media in our worlds has definitely changed the way we parent, for the good and for the bad.
I think there are just more moms for me to look to that are just having more honest conversations. Not that my mom was never not honest, but just felt like, there wasn't really a space to talk about how hard being a mom is. And now it feels like I can talk about that and not feel shame.
I think fathers, men are continuing to step up, continuing to look at families more often, like the family unit as a whole, and see that women are taking on that, the largest share of emotional labor in the family, even when they're working outside the home full time. And I think fathers are starting to play their role, and I think moms are starting to hold them accountable, as they should. It should be a partnership.
With all of the technology that we have, I would encourage women to take advantage of this one evolution, and that is the ability to make a financial impact and live a career while you are a parent full time.
I don't think spankings are quite as big as they were, which I don't think is a bad thing. But I just think maybe allowing yourself to feel as a parent and allowing your children to feel.
I'm a child of migrants. My parents came over from India in the 1960s and 70s to the UK. And they were just surviving here. They were surviving in an extremely racist, openly racist society. And all they wanted to do was just have a roof over their heads and just have a nice, happy, quiet life. And with that came the fact that they weren't able to be very conscious parents. They were amazing, but since then, I believe that society has really changed. Parenting has really changed because we do have a bit more time. We're a lot more privileged, and with that comes a lot more consciousness around how we're raising our children.
I think nowadays parents are more accepting of their child's choices in life.
We're getting further away from using anger as a tool to control their behavior and closer to listening and understanding them.
When I was young, I was very mischievous, so I got into trouble all the time. I have actually met the back end of a brush and a belt and a hand and pretty much anything you can think of. So parenting has changed a lot. And I do have to say, in my mom's defense, I probably deserved it. So I think parenting has become more of a communication situation, talking to our kids, having them open up and share what's going on. And instead of reacting, it's more trying to understand what they're going through.
I feel parenting is now more research-based. More and more mothers are trying to raise a well-balanced child. Whereas before, I feel parenting was more natural and flexible.
Back in my day, your child was supposed to be seen and not heard, but that does not work. Because now so many of us are adults that are afraid to speak up for ourselves, or afraid to even talk to our own family members and tell us how they feel, not able to have good conversations or any of those things. And I feel like now there is more and more conversation and more action surrounding raising well-rounded children that have a voice.
Today there's a greater consciousness of how much children can really take in and how much they can be engaged, understand, discuss important issues in their own way. And so therefore I think a lot more time is spent having meaningful conversations with children.
I definitely grew up in a context where it felt like you're a kid, you don't have enough wisdom, experience, maturity to have an opinion on anything and get in grown folks' business. But I see more and more now people saying, hey, kids also have something important to share into the conversation. All of us, whatever generation that we are, you know, we might not all make decisions the same way, but we all have a voice and a perspective that is important to the conversation.